Yeah, a lot of this took a lot of like thinking back to. I also read this in school, but a lot earlier than would make sense. Like I read this in like fifth grade, because I was in this weird. I don't. It's a weird thing that I was a part of, like this like accelerated learning GT thing. I don't know why they
Cool.
deem some kids as like, oh, you get to do smart kid things. I don't know. I don't think it made
Yeah.
me any better of a student or put me anywhere better in life. I don't think it did much for me, but I was in that group. And yeah, I remember we had like a lot of like study guides because we hadn't even gotten to like we hadn't gotten to much in history by that point. So like what would we know about the Russian Revolution? So like they gave us like a lot of study material of like, okay, this is how an allegory works and this is what history was like at the time so that you know a little bit about what this is talking about. And so that was helpful because, yeah, we were reading it very straight to start out with. And the teacher was like, what if I told you that this is about something a little deeper than what it seems? And we were like, oh, so yeah. Oh, Jody's chatting.
That's great. Well, this is great. This is going on the show, by the way. But yeah, hilarious to hear that. Yeah, you were doing all this stuff back in early middle school. Sounds like.
Yeah, late elementary. It was super. Yeah, very random. Yeah.
Let's see what she said.
Oh. I don't think she's available. Oh, bummer.
Yeah, I don't know. She must be in the middle of something. Yeah, recent motherhood duties kind of occupying her time. Of course, the second time around in her case, but
yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
She's got the newborn at home. We'll catch her on the next one.
Maybe we'll talk about the next version of this that's yet to come.
Yeah, no, maybe we'll give that a spin just for fun, because I don't know, it helped inspire the topic for today. And just it'll be a little brief chat that certainly is evergreen in its relevance. Yeah, no, the new Animal Farm I actually did see in theater.
Oh, you did? Okay. I was wondering if it was even out yet. So like, yeah, because I know it's very much its own adaptation. It's got some original character type things. But yeah, tell me more about that. I'm curious.
Yeah, Yatin Matarazzo from Stranger Things voices a new character, Lucky, a pig. I think kind of maybe, well, okay, there's also the kind of kowtowing sidekick to Napoleon, Squealer, who's featured in this version we're discussing today, played by Kieran.
Oh,
it's the
stacked cast.
The cast is absurd for this Angel Studios distributed animated, from 2025 adaptation of Animal Farm that I'm looking at here. With Seth Rogen as the main villain, Napoleon the pig.
I could see that. Yeah.
The again Matarazzo character Lucky the pig. I thought that might be some kind of hybrid of Squealer and I don't know. I'm trying to think of other sympathetic characters from the original.
Who was Boxer? I'm curious about that. Yeah.
Okay, Woody Harrelson.
Interesting. Okay. Huh.
Jim Parsons plays Carl.
Who's Carl?
Is that? Is that a goat?
Is that a human? Oh, a goat. Okay.
Kathleen Turner is old Benjamin the donkey.
Oh.
Steve Buscemi was Mr. Whimper.
Oh my gosh. I feel like that works really well.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's not big and chubby like he is in the old version.
He's got that villain voice though. I mean, he's Randall. He can kind of do that sort of a thing.
No, he's more slimy and usually in the new one. Laverne Cox as Snowball.
Oh.
Snowball gets run out of town.
Yeah.
And in both versions. In the
pretty literally.
In the original. I mean, gosh, if you haven't checked out the 1954, appropriately appropriately came out in the year 1954, exactly 30 years before the portentous year in which George Orwell set his most famous work. But Animal Farm was originally published in 1945 and would go on to great fame. I think it's a novella, it's a very kind of a shortened tale, an allegory, covering much similar subject matter to 1984. But that original 1954 adaptation is just, it kicks ass, to be honest.
Yeah, it is a major bummer. Oh my gosh. I was like, because I remember we watched it in school after reading the book, and we're like, 10 years old, like really young at the time. And it just was, it was a lot. Like, we really had to like take that in and sit with it. And we were just like, wow, major bummer. But like, revisiting it as an adult, I remember how I felt about it as a kid, and it stuck with me. Like, a couple of those scenes in particular, the scene with Boxer in particular, that was just the one that I knew it was coming, and I was like, this is gonna piss me off, I know. And I'm just like, there it comes. I'm like, oh no. But yeah, just like so many moments where I just was like, and it's like, I take it for granted, because it's just like, there's not a lot of media that can do that like is really, especially like in the realm of animation, that is just like, it cuts right to the point and is very, it's not mincing words here. It's just really, I mean, there's not a lot of words, but like imagery wise, like it's really evocative. It's not censoring. Well, until we get to the end, but we can talk about that later. But it's like, it's really not, it's all there, and there's blood and there's all this other stuff. So it's like, it's something definitely, I don't know what this was rated, but I'm curious. Yeah, we definitely bypassed whatever it was rated when we watched it as kids, but yeah.
No, okay, hasn't gotten a more recent certification from MPAA. I'm not seeing that, but it might have just gotten thrown a G back in.
Oh, of course,
the 19.
This is for general audiences.
In 54, it wouldn't have assigned the same structure, but they would have probably slapped something on it at some point, in the 60s or 70s. That's more in line with our modern scale that we use. But I'm not seeing any kind of, so it might never have gotten the MPA treatment.
Fascinating. Yeah.
But still, it's I wouldn't give it a PG-13 or anything. It's baby's first allegory. That's what we call it in a way. It's approved.
It's like, it's the explain like I'm 5. All of this is happening. But it's done very effectively though too. It's just very like this like stylized animation is just really, I think at the time they kind of called it like Disney but serious. I was reading in a couple reviews, or like a serious version of Disney, or like for grown-ups. And it's very, because it's got like that kind of like charming animals, and then like just like these awful things are happening to them in their world, and to each other, and just like the way that they interact with each other, and how they're coexisting and starting to change in their relationships, and all of that is just, it's very, very, very fascinating how they brought that to life in an animated form in the 50s, no less. But something I learned about this that I did not know, and I didn't know when I first watched it, but I was just kind of doing some cursory research, was that apparently the CIA bought the rights to Animal Farm after like the book came out, so like in the 40s, and then to make the film, they influenced the ending of the film, which I didn't know. So the ending is different than it is in the book. In the book, it kind of ends, not ambiguously, but the pigs and the animals are having dinner together, and the other animals, so the pigs and the humans, are having dinner together, and the other animals can hardly distinguish them from each other. It's like they've kind of morphed, and it's showing that like these both sides have like this like evil coming from them in a way, and like who's to tell one from the other at this point. It's and that scene still kind of exists here, but they've added now on this rebellion and uprising from the other animals as sort of a what I read, it was sort of like a piece of like hope, I guess, for to let the other countries in the Eastern Europe kind of feel like, oh, you can rise up against your oppressors and things. Like there is a way out of this, but also it's a way for, I mean, it's the CIA, so they kind of have the best interests of the West at heart. So they don't want to make it look like the West is like, not complicit in some of these things. So it's kind of like, it's not a both sides thing. That's a one side thing. But yeah, that was a really fascinating thing to look up. I was like, I had no idea that was a thing. But yeah.
Yeah, because kind of ingenious to like have this be a sleeper like form of dissent to disseminate amongst the Iron Curtain,
right? Yeah,
inspire them to revolt against their oppressors. It's hilarious. Yeah, because I mean there was quite the clampdown on foreign media in those territories. Yeah. Amazing. And it looks like, according to this trivia page here, like parents alarmed at the bleakness of the film, thinking it was more along the lines of a Walt Disney.
Oh, you
cartoon.
Sweet summer child. Imagine giving this to someone being like, look, it's the next Bambi. And then, well, actually Bambi's kind of dark too, but not like this.
The animation was perfectly competent, I thought.
Yeah, it was very charming at points with like the little animals, and just like there was this cute little duckling that was trying to like get up the stairs. I thought that was really sweet, and like just like a lot of different like character-y moments with these, and then like the way that it portrayed all the seasons I thought was really beautiful too, just in an animation sense. Just
looks okay. It says it's the first British feature-length entertainment cartoon. So
wow. Okay, I had no idea.
UK, that's hilarious. That's amazing, because there probably wouldn't have been much crossover then in talent.
Oh yeah. And there's only and I looked up like the voice talent. There's literally 2 voice actors in the entire thing. There's the narrator, and then everybody else is just one guy. I'm like, wow, good for you. I don't know how he pulled that off, but yeah.
Definitely a wide spectrum in terms of the animal's ability to grasp English,
learning how to say 4 legs good, 2 legs bad,
sliding scale of anthropomorphism, which is kind of interesting.
And like the uncanny, that's kind of what it gets to at the end, with like the uncanny valley of like how the pigs have morphed into this like sort of human pig hybrid. And and the way that the humans are animated too is very unlikable. And like I just remember, in particular, the Jones, I just remember seeing his image as a child. I'm like, he's a scary guy. Like and like the way they make him look drunk and all of that, and like things you don't see in typical animation for kids. But I mean,
so much is communicated just through an image alone. Just the design of Mr. Jones and all the various characters are so distinctive. I mean, it's just so bizarre and like tragic that the new version doesn't come anywhere near close.
Oh, dang. Yeah, I was wondering if it would be evocative like that, or kind of just like have its own style, but also like kind of the style that we've come to know of like modern animation, where it's just kind of like, I don't know, like,
in fact, I think Mr. Jones in the new one is animated with his eyes permanently like squinted shut, basically.
Oh, interesting.
Because he's all drunk.
He's drunk.
So like he can't, but that just
can hardly stay awake, but
it totally removes his ability to emote in a very
that's a sliding scope of like how much can you actually have a character express if you're just gonna limit the way that they look. Like you can still he
looks like an NPC.
Oh yeah, and he's very active, but also his inactivity is what is causing a lot of other things to happen. So it's like he is an active player in the story, just very not essential. As an NPC.
Even the common tactic used in real life of like scapegoating and blaming the insurrection of a lot of the animal characters on their affiliation, purported affiliation that they have with Mr. Jones, which becomes an actual affiliation on the part of the
ironic, isn't it? Yeah.
Later. Oh boy, it's just so stark. Yeah, how hypocritical. The apotheosis of hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm. And how we change those rules in favor of the ruling class and all of that. And it's just, I remember feeling that was shady as a kid too. I was like, oh, what do you mean like some are more equal than others? Like, what do you mean without cause? Like all these things of just like caveats and very, very fascinating.
That is sort of the stinger at the end, like the hammer on the nail at the end, the reveal of the new rule that just kind of overrides everything that came previously. Some animals aren't. I mean, at least in that case, like the guise the pretense has kind of been abandoned at that point.
So like the whole thing with equality is that everybody is, so there's no such thing as some are more. So it's like the way that is being said is very much sending a message of like, we are superior. We just can't literally legally write that down. So this is the way that we're skirting around that to send that message home. But
you're admitting there's something off here, and in a grammatically questionable fashion. One thing can't be more equal, but it's kind of fun to play around with weird linguistic quirks. Like saying, there's no such thing as absolutes, like it's tricky.
Right.
Self-defeating phrase there, but so it's like, how do you work within, I guess, a healthy boundary, a healthy margin of sustainability? And it is interesting how this animal farm here is able to function.
It's very surprising when you first are like encountering that. You're like, oh, they figured things out for themselves. They have a system, they're able to kind of have like a profitable like way for them to make money and like for them to tend the land, even if they're not like perfect at it. With the coming of the seasons, they're learning, they're growing, they're building, and they're delegating people to work. And then that delegation becomes a bit more stark as things go on. And some people are definitely not pulling their weight, and some people are pulling in too much weight to the point of exhaustion and much worse. But
well, you need to feed the brain power more than any other organ.
That's their justification, right? They're like, by virtue of their brains, they got to have the best food. Of course, the pigs do, because they are the brains of the operation, and that's their big strength, I guess. But
most energy intensive of all the bodies.
Yeah, that's the hardest work that we need to sustain here.
I don't know. Obviously, just so many parallels you can draw from this. And
which I was so curious with it coming out now. I'm like, I was wondering if, like, this new version potentially would like resonate with things that are happening now, if it even like covertly, I don't know, talks about these messages that I think the original does a pretty bang up job just sharing.
Just like having it retold in kind of a new coat of paint, having people be reintroduced to a lot of the themes you would think would just have a certain degree of just reception, but it has seemed to have just fallen totally flat on its face. And like a 2.4 on IMDb is just is that literally what it was? It's in the twos. Oh no.
What happened?
That was weird.
I don't know if that was my end or yours, but we've had a technical difficulty.
Okay, I see you here. You popped.
I'm back. I don't know if it was my Zoom or what happened, but it just like booted me out. Yeah, that was weird.
All right.
But you were talking about the IMDb for, I don't know if it's still recording, but
no, it is 2.4. Cool. I mean, I'm sure it's Rotten Tomatoes. It's just in the Metascore 29. It's just like It seems to have found no
Wow, that's
purchase.
shocking. Yeah.
And like it's which is a shame because it's
Yeah.
evergreen tale, like we said.
Yeah, and I wonder if this will inspire, like, sometimes this inspires different curricula, like if schools will kind of bring this book out in circulation more and then bring more attention to this like original film. I don't know if kids today will be able to handle this in a way. Like it's kind of a lot. Like, yeah, it was a lot for us when we were watching it in like fifth grade, let alone like kids older than us too, like in the mid 2000s or whatever. But like, yeah, I don't know. Then again, I think sometimes we underestimate because like, with the free and open internet, the things that kids are seeing on the daily now in this uncensored crazy world we live in, like maybe they can handle a little cartoon animal violence, etc. Like, I don't know. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, if they had incorporated maybe a little bit of shock value in the new film, it would have found some degree of word of mouth, or just like
I'm surprised that it doesn't actually. Yeah, that's
cultural penetration. Okay, I gotta mention this because it is fascinating. This new film Obsession, which I saw opening weekend.
I've only heard things about it. I have seen some spoilers, unfortunately. Like I saw one particular jump scare and I was like, whoa, wow. But that's all I know.
I was just going to comment on the fact that the word of mouth for this thing has been gangbusters.
Yeah, that's how I hear about it, through videos, through seeing clips online, evidently. But yeah, because it's got shock value. It's something that people, once you hear about it, you got to share it with your friends or something like that, or it goes fairly viral on the internet when you post any kind of clip of it. So yeah, I'm curious to hear more about that too, just in general. Like, but now that I've been dipping my feet into the horror genre for the past couple of years, we've kind of seen this journey throughout various podcast appearances of mine. But yeah,
if Jodie were able to make it out to the movie theater, which you would think she'd get some allowance to at least take some me time, but that would be a great one for us to to cover here, because it's gotten quite the.
I feel like that's a good one to see in theaters too, just like with other people, like just safety in numbers, but also like to hear the reactions around you, like.
Oh, yeah. I bet. Because I did see it opening weekend. I just kind of randomly. I was like, this looks cool. Sometimes these kind of A24-esque horror movies, they really kind of go for it, and I've had good, experiences with there was that movie Talk to Me that came out a couple of years ago. It was just a total banger. There's been a few, there's one, the Mummy. I enjoyed The Mummy. It was sort of, the follow-up to that director's Evil Dead film that he made a few years ago. So similar vibes there. Usually when something like that comes out, I like to check it out, because it's at least decent for a cheap thrill, typically.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
But Obsession, definitely has a lot more going on.
That's had some good reviews, I'm thinking. Like,
yeah, well, its box office went up on successive weeks, which is very rare this time of year when movies are out to just really hit that opening summer box office number hard, and then they kind of fall from there.
Right. Yeah. But, well, good for them. Wow. Yeah.
I mean, I saw the new Star Wars, Mandalorian, Grogu over the weekend. That kind of interesting times at the box office. But some things are really thriving, some things not so much. But I mean, the Animal Farm Orwell ethos is always on kind of something, especially that floats around on the internet, forums, Reddit. There's the famous Godwin's law. Are you familiar? Yeah. How long does it take before somebody mentions Hitler in any discussion?
Yeah.
Animal Farm's sort of mostly suggested to be an allegory of the Russian Revolution, and the kind of assumption of leadership by the Communist Party in the United Socialist Soviet Republics, or I probably got that mixed around.
USSR, we got it. Yeah.
USSR. But I guess it's important for people to know these things, because I mean, kids these days might not automatically know what USSR
like who's Stalin, who are these people? Yeah. So it's kind of a primer into this theater of history that's happening in that part of the world, especially it was interesting to encounter this story when I was a child and not knowing much of European history at the time, let alone that. So I had a lot of help from my family who were it's funny because my family's from Turkey, which is not exactly in that area, but not far either. So they had their kind of interesting sort of neutral third party, in a way, view on it, but also influenced by their upbringing as well. So they were helpful when I was a kid and when I was initially reading this book, because I was just I don't know who are these people? What was happening?
There's no border with Russia, right?
Not exactly. No,
the shared body of water.
So we've got the Black Sea. So I don't know if part of the Black Sea has Russia on it. That could be a possibility, but Russia's giant. So there could maybe in some point in history the USSR, actually definitely, because I think Azerbaijan was part of USSR and that borders Turkey. So there's definitely some history there.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoy geography, but sometimes those mental maps get a little...
Yeah, no, same. And plus it's changed over the years.
Yeah, of course the USSR, included all those various satellite, there was the USSR satellite nations, which weren't technically part of the Soviet Union. And then they had annexed a lot of, what are now independent countries that are part of that whole Slavic region, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, all the stands, basically. Not Afghanistan, I guess, because that was a famous flop, a bit of a Waterloo situation.
They tried.
Yeah. But anyways... let's try to find and pull up Google Maps, and it's not even one of the immediate. There we go. I have to pull up a drop-down menu. So I'll reference some maps here just for fun. But anyways, what all was the context you were provided by your family?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to kind of remember it fully now, but they were just kind of helpful in telling me what was happening with the rebellion and everything, and and the various other countries that were involved, and just when in the world this was happening as well, and things like that. Just which again, cultural context that I just didn't exactly have. And I forgot to mention it, and I'm pretty sure this film also had a live action adaptation in the 90s. I don't know if I'm making this. Yeah, and with also its own random stacked cast. I want to say it was Patrick Stewart and all of that. So I don't know. I feel like maybe I've seen that one as well, but also very interesting for that to come into context in the 90s during Cold War era. Again, this kind of story sort of continues in a weird way throughout history. History doesn't always repeat, but could rhyme. But
yeah. The 1999 adaptation was a TV movie.
Yeah. Okay.
I pulled it up after I finished the original, and it's in 4:3 ratio, so definitely produced for television. But the cast very impressive with Kelsey Grammer as Snowball, Ian Holm as Squealer, and Patrick Stewart as Napoleon. Peter Ustinov as the old major, Julia Ormond as Jessie, Pete Postlethwaite, remember him? He was a character actor, British. Like Steven Spielberg really liked him. He was in The Lost World. Is that Hunter?
Yeah.
And then they have some pretty cool practical effects. It looks like in this 1999 film, from what I saw, there's synchronized mouth movements with
it's one of those, like, yeah.
But it's not. If the moments I saw weren't CGI, like,
oh, interesting. Yeah,
like Babe, that was back in 1996.
Also where it's like they kind of caught when the pig's mouth was open and sort of they kind of like animate it, but not like animate. If that makes sense, I think I know what you mean. Yeah.
They used a mix. Techniques, because CGI was still fairly on the upswing back then. So there were like animatronics used as well.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah.
CGI techniques. Yeah.
Dang. There were a lot of like pig movies in the 90s. I don't know if that was like an era we were going through, like with Babe, Charlotte's Web, and then what was the other one? There's another one I'm thinking of that I forget the name of, but very similar. Another pig movie, but like, there were so many in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
You could have been confused by seeing the poster for, a few of them. I think the pig movie is called, it's Gordy.
Gordy, that's what I was going to say Porky, but that's a different pig, but yeah.
It's like, why does this poster for Babe say Gordy?
Yeah, that was a trend, weirdly, at the time, yeah.
Anyways, like, the anthropomorphic, yet still, walking on four legs, could be live action or possibly animated. In this case, hand drawn, sort of style of film, is certainly a popular trope and is in fact alive and well in the theaters currently. Although it might be kind of on its way out now by this point. The Sheep Detective.
I've been wanting to see that. I've heard good things, actually. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I heard it was really good. I did not go to see it just because it seemed maybe a little bit too cutesy. I don't know.
Fair enough, yeah.
But no, it does deal with some mature themes. It's not specifically for younger audiences, but certainly accessible to them. In fact, there's sort of an interesting parallel between that film and Project Hail Mary, where they're from the same company.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, yeah. And
MGM Amazon, like they had a big kind of presser a year ago where they showed off both films and and we're aiming for a similar audience with both. Is it the Sheep Detectives?
Yes.
2026.
Yeah. With Hugh Jackman. I've seen the ads quite a few times, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you seen any other recent releases?
Not really. I haven't really been out and about a ton in the recent times, but I can't think of what would have been the most recent thing that I've seen.
Yeah,
like probably Hoppers. Honestly, like it's been a minute. Like, and that was months ago. So yeah.
Yeah. Like even with Mando and Grogu, like whatever, degree of underperformance that may be.
Actually, I do have one. No, you keep going. I just remembered, but yeah.
Okay, I was just gonna say, like when it comes to the ultimate success of some of these films, it really isn't written until they go on to streaming, and some of them really take off there. And,
it definitely depends. Yeah, depends on the audience of the film and all this other stuff. But yeah, I did remember the one film that I saw that I wanted to talk about, but also I wasn't sure who'd seen it or who'd not. But it's best to go kind of get into it blind. But Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. Oh my God, that blew me away. I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with them. I just want to watch more. Want to watch the show. Yeah, want to go to Toronto. Like, yeah, it was weirdly like I was like, oh, am I into Canada now? Like, they're not too far from us, but yeah, no, that was another great film that has really phenomenal practical effects that you do not see coming, and is such a breath of fresh air, and also like really thoughtfully used CGI. And like, I don't want to spoil it, but like, if you're a fan of 80s films, you might like this one. One 80s film in particular is quite a heavy inspiration for that. I went into it not even knowing that that was a factor, and it was just such a pleasant surprise. I was just like, oh my gosh, like, yeah. It's really good.
Very cool. Are you familiar with the? Cause I kind of took a little, not necessarily deep dive, but like the Devil Wears Prada films.
So I've seen the first one. I haven't seen the second. I'm kind of wary about seeing the second. I'm going to be honest, just because like, I mean, yeah, I love the first one. It's really iconic. It's kind of gathered this sort of cult following after the fact. I mean, it was pretty big, I think, at the time, but like, I feel like it's similar in a way to Mean Girls, has become its own cultural touch point. Like, there's so many lines from it that are just integrated into like daily, like florals for spring, groundbreaking. Like, these are just things that people say now. But yeah, I felt like, I don't know, I haven't seen the sequels, so I can't really like judge it or anything, but it's just like, I don't know, it's like it's a common thing that happens with like these cult films that become really popular, that kind of try to bank on the nostalgia, but also they have like this like increased budget but don't know exactly what to do with it, which was the case with like the Hocus Pocus sequel, which was like kind of disappointing, actually very disappointing in that way, where it's just, so that's like the vibe I'm getting from Devil Wears Prada 2, but I haven't seen it. I don't want to judge it too much. I'll watch it at some point, but I'm like, I'm skeptical. I don't know. It doesn't,
you know, no, it successfully does its own thing, I would say.
Okay, good. Okay.
Worth checking out.
Yeah, all right.
and oddly, like, I don't know, if I was already kind of a fan of Anne Hathaway, I would say.
Yeah, oh, I'm a big,
she's cool.
That's my girl. Like, yeah.
But she also, she had another movie come out recently that I really enjoyed, and it has some horror elements to it as well.
Ooh, I have to check that out. Hello?
Not a straight horror, but it's like very complex. It's a David Lowery film.
Okay.
Play with him. Because he's done some like very artistic kind of indie movies that are of his own. Well, like The Green Knight, that was him.
Okay.
But he's also like done film adaptations for Disney, like the Peter Pan and Wendy.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Pete's Dragon.
Yeah, so some of the newer live actions. I see. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's all over the map with his
interesting
output there. But yeah, Mother Mary was really interesting.
Mother Mary, yeah, okay, yeah, I'd heard a lot about that one.
But anyways, very very cool to see. You know, some like kind of heavy material from Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, she's got a range. Yeah.
And there's like one song that I really liked from that, because it's she plays a pop star, so they actually come up with a set of pop songs for this fictional artist. Yeah. And I know I found a couple of them to really, one in particular, like I added to my favorites playlist on Spotify and jam out.
Cool, yeah.
So fun stuff. But we can sort of ease back into some animation here with the 1954 Animal Farm, aka THX 113 Nay.
Oh
no, I don't know. Have you seen? That's a really like fun, evocative Orwellian adaptation, the THX 1138 from George Lucas.
Oh, I have not seen that actually.
It sort of spawned a whole aesthetic from George. He certainly one of the most influential people in media in our modern vocabulary, but yes, revolutionized the film industry, of course. Star Wars and Industrial Light and Magic, visual effects, and even like sound and editing. But THX was his first feature length film.
Okay.
And it was sort of a more kind of sci-fi take on 1984.
Interesting. Yeah.
So, yeah, sort of that dystopian people living in the fully controlled environment where every aspect of their lives is is interceded upon.
Fun. Yay, fiction.
When will
fiction in quotes?
Yeah, when will we get to that? I mean, because we have this technology, but AI, of course, and then I was searching for this term in a recent show, and the fact that it's not like proper AI necessarily. It's more accurately termed a large language model.
Yeah, that's what they're calling the ChatGPT and all that. And because they're like, they're like, you write prompts and it spits something out written, but that's how it started. And then now it's kind of become a do-it-all machine, which is a little scary, but yeah.
To what extent is that?
Yeah.
It may be just sort of kind of what intelligence is. And I feel like maybe I'm just a large language model sometimes.
I mean, we are intelligence. Is it artificial? Who knows? But yeah.
It's all kind of subjective. And even like much more primitive technologies like the NPCs in video games, dating all the way back to...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, Pong, basically.
Yeah.
Could you play against the computer?
Early AI. And I don't know if you've ever played the game Facade, which is it's like a game that came out in like the 2000s. It's one of the first kind of like dips into like this sort of AI storytelling, but like there was really nothing like it at the time. And to this day, there's really not a lot like it now. It's the basic premise of it is like there's a dinner party and there's a couple and you're like their friend. And clearly this couple is like, they have some issues and you're kind of trying to root into what is going on with them. Like, what are they going to survive? Are they going to break up? Like, what is their deal? And you just kind of write stuff in, and they've had voice actors just say so many lines of all these possible, there's like hundreds of possibilities for how these things can go off. And it's not like it's a little branching, but also not, but it's also got very like primitive sort of animation, but it's very charming in a way too. I think that company is looking into what they can do now with that in modern times. I don't know if it'll be a hindrance to their storytelling or will propel it further, but they were able to achieve a lot with like quite like early like non-generative, I guess, artificial intelligence.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it's funny, the developer's name is Procedural Arts.
Yeah.
Procedurally generated content is kind of all the rage. That came into vogue in video games probably a decade or so back, where stuff would just be, they would just use these generative engines to create. Yeah. But this was 2005. It looks like like a car, a 2D animated TV show, like a sitcom. It's styled in that way.
It kind of plays like that when you watch game through footage of it when you're playing it. It's very fascinating, and then just seeing what words set off different events for these two characters to say. There's like a couple words that you can say that immediately get you kicked out of the apartment that they're in, which is really funny to find out what that is. But yeah, it's just really, it made a resurgence in like recent times. I don't know, people with streaming, have been finding hidden gems, I guess, on Steam, and are finding games like this, and it's fun that you can just kind of like, everybody has a unique experience with it because they all write in different things to these characters. So nobody's gameplay is going to be exactly the same unless you set out to copy like a version that you saw. But yeah,
it's fun to see these examples of media that take a concept and really run with it, because I played plenty of video games growing up, and in sports games, you have like live commentary, which is pretty cool. And that requires a lot of work on the part.
The cutscenes, like everything kind of like has like a chain of events that something will set off of, and
they have to have the names of all the players, and like
I was super into Detroit Become Human, games like that, where those are kind of a more sophisticated take on like the these branching stories and just gameplay that is never exactly the same. And
well, it was common, of course, for games to be just communicate, or I guess dialogues in games to be communicated purely through text, but it just adds so much more life if you can put a voice behind it. And I would certainly gravitate to those kinds of elements much more so than just the pure like gameplay, puzzle solving types of aspects. Now the a bit, I don't know, you can of course use these large language models, these generative AI, to kind of create any type of characterization embodiment that you want to nowadays. That would have only been something that I'm sure they poured a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into something like Facade to achieve.
Yeah, I mean, because like, where's the fun in just like being like, computer, spit me out perfect game? Yeah. It's like, I don't know, like they really worked at it, and like, yeah, like I'm giving them their flowers. Like it was really a feat. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess all this just kind of wraps around to like the use of this type of technology to achieve like a strong surveillance state, and those kinds of devious methods that, of course, are always being discussed in the news and in the media, and of course behind closed doors and stuff too. All the
fun times,
negotiations and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think that the Pope recently came out.
Oh yeah.
So just how civilizations function in general. It's a really cool, and like I was referring to kind of this, trying to find a happy medium, like because you can't put just a blanket formula to this stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's a lot of like, blood, sweat, and tears, passion that is part of the human artistic expression that really cannot be replicated by anything. And I don't know, just things like this kind of show that for sure.
Like, art is absolutely essential to any culture, any society.
Yeah. And especially back when this was written, in the culture that it was being written about, there was a lot of censorship. And that's why this was written in the way that it was. It's like this sort of covert way of sending a message out in a way. And seeing who picked up on it, but also seeing what could make it past the literal censorship that was happening.
Crazy. Yeah. Well, and the art just, it can't be confined to, any universal set of rules. I mean, there are certainly principles, and you can regard them, and often are regarded as, universal, to like at least provide a basis for human cooperation and, benevolence to some degree. Like, love your neighbor as yourself. Just kind of basic. The most basic live and let live type of notions. But beyond that, like, there's just so much variability in how we can kind of organize ourselves. And like we mentioned, that this animal farm, it's oppressive, it's tyrannical at the end, but it does technically function. Like, they trade with other farms and throughout the region. They start off by trading with the humans, these anthropomorphic animals that take over the farm from Mr. Jones, who's this cruel drunkard who's mismanaged the farm, are able to employ human faculties just due to the contrivance, per George Orwell's his bestowal of human faculties upon these animals, which is kind of cool, because you got to have a story, but it's like, I don't know, is that kind of a weird concept for readers at the time to...
Yeah, conceptualizing, like, how do they communicate with each other, but also how do they communicate that they have become human-like? Because we're digesting the story as if, what is language to them, and how does communication work? And then how does that evolve into, like, this sort of uncanny animal-human hybrid thing that happens?
Yeah. It's, it's not like Zootopia, where it's a world that's only populated by animals.
Yeah.
So kind of fun how.
Yeah.
Because just imagine, like, suddenly we find out that there's this society of animals that's capable of, forming language.
Yeah, and they ran their owner out, and he's just fine with it. He's just kind of like, yeah, they did that. I'm just gonna go to the bar. I always thought that was so funny as a kid. I was like, you're not gonna fight back? Okay, live your best life.
They developed technology and economic principles and systems of crime and punishment. Criminal. What's that called? Criminal justice.
Yeah.
And like, of course, in that original 1954 version, there's plenty of so there is technically death that occurs in the new one, but it's all very.
And I'm assuming it's not as graphic because whoa.
Yeah. They're sanitized. But yeah, like. Most famously probably is when Boxer gets hauled away to the Boxers, the horror.
Oh, it's the saddest thing. Like that was like an early, like we talk about like these like scenes that traumatize you as a kid. That was an early one for me. Like hearing Benjamin just like, just like that. Like when that happened again here, I was like, oh my God, that was like a sense memory that took me back to being like 10 years old and like, oof, that's a tough one. Yeah.
The primal nature of the animals is well preserved throughout, and of course is mostly abandoned by just the pigs out of any of the denizens of the farm. The pigs make use, particularly Napoleon, of I guess he first forms alliance with the dogs. These puppies,
because he's kind of like raised them in a way, or like he has some sort of early attachment with them because he like invades the farmer's home and they were left behind, and he's like, okay, I can use these for my own nefarious. He's like grooming them in a way, like quite literally, and for his like nefarious purposes. He's like, I will raise you, and then you will do my bidding when I come into prominence. And it's just planting those seeds early on, and they become his enforcers, and they want. You just sick someone, whoever he needs deposed or whatever. Yeah, disposed, I guess.
You have a character like this fat kind of slob of a pig, and he needs his tools to be able to assume power. It's not through his own strength, but use of others. It's very Hutt-like, which is apropos of Star Wars, of course.
Yeah, back to the George Lucas of it all.
Jabba the Hutt is a looming figure in the new Mandalorian and Grogu.
Oh, okay.
But he's, of course, since deceased. This film takes place after Return of the Jedi, where
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, Jabba's.
I have not kept up with Star Wars lore after Return of the Jedi. I was like, I want to, but also it's like very overwhelming. I'm like, I will at some point, but I just
It does somewhat revolve around the power vacuum left by Jabba, the plot of this new film, because he does have a surviving son, and then he's at risk from his aunt and uncle, who are a part of, or they have assumed the mantle of the Jabba the Hutt crime empire, and I would hope to think that there are other Hutt families out there.
There's gotta be, like,
because they can't all be, like this movie. I like to imagine the universe in Star Wars as being quite expansive.
Oh, I mean, there's the whole expanded universe of it all, and like alternate universe things. Like, it's vast. It's a long time ago, far, far away. There's a lot happening.
Yeah. So, as even if Jabba's son is not quite, the despotic tyrant that the Jabba was.
It's got to be some other Hutt or something. Yeah.
I think there will still be Hutts that because I think they basically govern an entire region of space in the Star Wars universe, but Jabba's criminal empire was the most prominent, at least amongst the kind of Star Wars underground, because there's a strong criminal element that has a lot of appeal amongst fans, and
and they have a language too. They've got like Huttese. I remember when, I don't remember which sequel movie it was, but Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote a song in Huttese.
That's right.
I think it was for I don't remember which one it was for, but it was like Java Flow, or Java Flow was the name of it. But,
episode 7.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, Force Awakens. Yeah,
Java Flow. You're exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I like the idea of a good Hutt. And a benevolent Hutt, which
because we only know the one for the most part, so like there's got to be some good ones, of course.
Not all pigs are bad.
There we go. Yeah, I mean, there's that new pig in the new one, so it's kind of sympathetic. Is that what the idea is? Or
NAPAB. Not all pigs are bad. The Gatton Matarazzo character. I mean, I guess that's at least one positive innovation of the new film, showing that that some of the pigs, although the original that we just watched does have some sympathetic pigs, but they all get killed.
You don't really get to hear a lot from them. Like, you kind of start to, and then they get immediately dealt with, unfortunately.
I can't remember if Snowball in the new one is confirmed to have been killed or just banished.
Because that's kind of up in the air.
But of course, in this, it sort of tastefully pans away during some of these execution scenes, and you see the reaction by the crow, which I thought the reaction
is still like, whoa. Like, it's like every time an animal cries in this, I feel some kind of way. I'm like, oh my God, like it's so visceral. Something about it, like the emotions that they have, it's really a lot.
Well, of course, Disney films of the era had their famous musical numbers. The what was their names? The brothers.
The Sherman Brothers.
Sherman Brothers. They should have hired them.
Oh my God! Can you imagine?
Probably didn't have the budget. No.
I mean, they had the one song going for them, which whoever did it, it got stuck in my head. I was like, hey, yeah.
Well, there's the vocalizing by the animal.
Yeah.
Is that what
the Battle of England or whatever it's called? Like that one. Yeah.
Okay. Were there English lyrics for any of the songs?
In the books, yes, but they didn't use those lyrics in the movie, and I don't know why. I don't know if it was a rights thing or they just didn't have the right kind of composer lyricist to be able to pull it off. But yeah, they just turned it into kind of animal noises.
Which was interesting and like chilling at the same time, like strangely, like, like, I don't know, chillingly beautiful in a way. Like they're just primal, using these primal sounds to generate, all
one guy. Yeah. Again, crazy. Yeah.
The animal noises and grunts, they're just vocalizing, and it's bizarre. It's like almost like they're doing some kind of cult ceremony or something.
Mm-hmm. And then it becomes like it's like a protest song, and then it becomes not immediately, but like after some time, illegal to even start to utter it, which is
censoring the art.
Mm-hmm. There it is.
Mm-hmm. But so kind of a far cry from what you would get from like a Sherman sort of take on the universe.
But how I would like to see that, though. I'm curious now that scene has been played, and I'm like,
Yeah. Well, okay. This new one. I mean,
is there music in the new one?
I think there's like some pop songs.
Oh no. Okay. That's interesting.
It's not a musical. Like,
yeah, but it's got, yes, a soundtrack with music. Yeah.
Like,
I gotcha.
it's trying to be like your typical, Despicable Me-esque slot.
Interesting. Like,
well, and there are so many examples of that kind of animation that you just don't hear about because
it's oversaturated. It's everywhere. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those just sort of B tier.
Straight to not even straight to DVD, straight to Netflix kind of a thing. Yeah.
I mean, they're the like absolute bottom of the barrel knockoff, that they're trying to just fool people into clicking. Well, nowadays it's clicking. Back in the day it was buying, you'd have something
ratatouille.
On the shelves at various retailers. I feel like even a place like Target would know better than to stock.
But they were there too. I remember the off-brand Aladdins, all of those. Yeah.
Fooling parents into picking them off the shelves. But so it's not that level, certainly, but there's a certain tier. I mean, even like, so not like the Swan Princess, but one of the 11 sequels.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. There's so many. And they're all CGI now. It's like, and she's singing pop music now. It's a whole thing. It's what a time.
It's pretty wild. Hoodwinked. I was trying to think of that movie.
Yeah.
That was like a lesser animation studio, but it like actually
that was a fun one.
Yeah. It was well written, well received. So
very memorable, and like it has its own kind of identity. Yeah.
Anne Hathaway, I think.
Yeah, there she is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, so Angel, that Angel Studios, they did do an animated film, I think last year that came out that was faith-based because that's how they got their start as a production company.
Okay. The pieces are starting to come together.
Sound of Freedom, remember that?
Oh my God, that was them?
Angel Studios.
Oh my God. Okay.
And The Chosen, about Jesus.
Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah. Yeah, now it's just dawning to me who they are. I'm like, oh wow, I would not have expected they would have done this, but also it kind of tracks that they're handling it in the way that they're handling it, I guess. But
yeah, I think the Chosen show was fully independently, funded originally, but then Angel Studios, it was like a distribution platform that offered, the viewing of the series, of course, on their streaming service. And then they've gone on to do a whole lot of projects because that Chosen series, I think, got a lot of attention, and then that helped propel Angel Studios, amongst other things, I think. And there is just a whole thriving subculture of faith-based movies that, will continue to be profitable. And this studio in particular, Angel, has actually branched out now into secular films. Interestingly. Yeah. If you look at some of their more recent output, some are just acquisitions that they've made from festivals and just random stuff, kind of. And like the new Animal Farm movie is it's directed by Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis, yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, whoa, yeah.
He does voice a character in the film as well.
Wow. Is he mocapping anything or?
Yeah, They probably didn't bother with the mocap stuff for this. Crazy. I mean, he did like an animated Jungle Book movie that was mocap though.
I think Netflix. It was, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was reminded of some of Jon Favreau's more recent movies with like Lion King, of course, and Jungle Book with this new Mandalorian Grogu because of like the CGI environments and all the creatures, the pastoral feel of some of the moments that are more just kind of Grogu out in nature. For me, it was more entertaining just having the blend of like the crazy Star Wars hijinks with the natural looking CGI versus the Lion King and Jungle Book. Felt very sterile to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to check it out once I'm more caught up on my Star Wars, because I've seen the sequels, but then it kind of ends there for me.
People, get frustrated by Star Wars and sort of the stream of content that, I don't know, people feel kind of oppressed by, like, oh, do I have to catch up on 3 seasons of a TV show to go and watch, which you really don't.
I'm like that with Marvel though too. I'm like, I kind of gave up. I'm like, I'll see whatever I can, but just
it's the same.
I don't know what's going on.
It's even worse with Marvel. There's a lot more of it.
But
even there, like, there's not nearly the like mandatory viewing for a lot of things. I mean, I tend to keep up with the vast majority of the Marvel stuff and basically all the Star Wars stuff.
Wow. Yeah.
Just out of, I enjoy it. I just kind of like being immersed. It's like a warm bath for me.
It's a nice world to be immersed in. If you're going to choose any world, I enjoyed that one as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I saw the new Netflix Wonder Man. And of course, now coming out, there's been some Daredevil and Punisher projects. There was a special presentation of the Punisher, just single episode, and of course the new season of Daredevil. And I've loved both of those series that have come out originally on Netflix, and then now they're doing new iterations
Disney
on
Plus.
So then I think the Punisher is going to show up in the new Spider-Man. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
John Bernthal, of course.
I have yet to see, on the other side of things, the DC world. I know Supergirl, that's coming up soon, and excited to check that one out after I've seen. I really enjoyed the Superman film. I am still thinking about that one.
Yeah, that'll be fun to explore further with the new Supergirl. And I mean, it's just a fun vessel to kind of be able to utilize the full potential of Hollywood filmmaking and this just massive budgets that can be used to achieve. The conceit of this show, which I don't think I've mentioned the word Thodcast once so far in our conversation, but that's okay.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
It's right there in the title. But yeah, the Thodcast sort of premised on visuals and conversations about animation. But I am just an easy mark when it comes to pretty spectacle on screen. So
we're just wowed by human heart and things, and that's a wonderful thing to do, because why not? I don't know.
I'm certainly not practiced at generating it myself, sadly, but I would like to spend my time at least talking about it and developing a certain proficiency and at least breaking things down through language, large language models that my brain attempts to replicate.
I mean, we were here first, to be fair.
Yes.
But they're trying to learn off of us. But no, I definitely need to see more films. That's always the thing that comes into my head whenever I'm doing an episode. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm behind on a lot of things, but also when I can, I try to check in here and there, and then also revisit things from the past, which is also there. You'd be surprised there's a lot of touch points in culture that I just missed out on. I don't know. And then there's some that I really latched onto that nobody really latched onto as much. So I don't know. Just a weird cultural landscape that inhabits my brain.
No, the most important thing is just not feel pressure.
Oh no, yeah.
If you're able to fully detach from all this stuff, then that means you're healthy.
Good. Okay.
And
well, healthy to some extent, but yes, sure.
Well,
I'll take it.
Even if you are really tapped in, like I think there's a certain skill we ought to cultivate to where we can just fully, divest when we need a break,
Yeah, in moderation. Sure.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think there's a lot of people who they professionally kind of study this stuff and will go hard, putting in a grinding workload. And then, when it comes time to have their day of rest, they can really just distance themselves from it. And that's a healthy structure for them.
Yeah.
And I think,
works.
Too often, I think we feel like, 24/7, we have to be like tethered to this in some way. And, that's just, I think the least healthy approach. Whereas, there's a reason why, we have the Sabbath, the days off, the weekend, ways to kind of try to reset ourselves before going back to the grindstone.
Although I do work on the weekends. I actually am coming up to Duluth for princessing. So, hey, that's my weekend.
You've probably been busy with, actual like productivity related things that's
here and there.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's, that's just the reality that we all face. And so like, you got to use your time wisely. But and you said you work in IT as well. So it's like a day job and then
and weekends.
Yeah.
But not every weekend. So, moderation. There we go.
Yeah, I just have basically one full-time job and then the rest is like F1 and
fun. Yeah.
Movies. I went to in IMAX the Miami GP, the Grand Prix.
Oh, that must have been fun in IMAX.
Oh,
dang, yeah.
It was a 10 out of 10 experience.
Wow. I hadn't heard of them doing that before.
Yeah.
That's probably not super recent, but how long have they been doing that? In IMAX specifically, I guess.
Oh, it's a new thing this year.
Oh, okay. Oh, so it is brand new. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Yeah. I went to the Rosedale AMC.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But I think all the AMCs in the Twin Cities where you are they have the ability to attend select races. There's a few throughout the season.
Well, that's fun. Yeah, with that like nice sound and visuals, like it's like you're probably there. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we'll probably wrap this up here, but definitely appreciate anyone listening to us here on the Thodcast. Of course, my name's Philip, and I'm joined by Laura, and we're both Minnesotans, so that's fun from the great north. But you're actually much closer to kind of
South
the action,
Metro. Yeah.
the actual civilization. I'm up where the animal farms actually are.
Oh no,
can be found, much greater frequency. We kind of do our own thing up where I live, and it's like the wild Midwest.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, where you are though, it is crazy. Like we are kind of ground zero here in the state for like all things social, like uprising.
It's been a busy year for Minnesota, that's for sure. And it's only like not even halfway through the year yet. It's just, so much has happened.
Yeah. I mean, you've got your finger on the pulse of all of humanity practically. And I know what are some interesting, it's especially pertinent to this episode, but like developments in Minneapolis and stuff to sort of take away and use it as a litmus or what's that? A bellwether for the rest of the world. I don't know anything interesting going on right now.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the same old. It's just not being reported as much. So it's kind of trying to find reliable sources of information for people who are still, people who are still detained, things like that are going on.
Wow.
And just, trying to like get the word out, spread awareness that like these things are still happening, even if the news has kind of moved on. It's like, okay, things are stable with Minnesota. ICE has kind of left, but like there kind of still is a presence, and there's still people who are in need and definitely need help there. So yeah, just whatever I can to help amplify people and amplify stories and share things and just kind of have safety in numbers. The more people know, the better, I think. But yeah.
Wow, fascinating. Yeah, I mean, this movie has, shows the ability of a community to sort of come together and rise up
in this revised ending, mind you. But yes,
at the beginning too, though. So there are two instances really of the.
Yeah, they really build a civilization for themselves. They have mutual aid in a way. Yeah,
social action. Yeah, so. I would hope that the communities in Minneapolis are able to find.
Yeah, there is a thriving mutual aid ecosystem in Minneapolis. It was, I mean, a lot of people have started this sort of organization back in 2020, and I'd be remiss to gloss over that because that's been about 6 years since the killing of George Floyd, about almost to the day, and that was sort of when a lot of this mutual aid ecosystem started its seeds. I mean, some of it had kind of existed prior, but since, we were all indoors for the most part in 2020, a lot of stuff was getting really spread online. And so by the time events that were happening this year with ICE rolled around, there already kind of was this system in place that people were able to start to find ways to get people the help that they need and to provide mutual aid and resources for people in the Twin Cities and eventually kind of beyond, because this started to affect beyond this ecosystem of the Twin Cities and metro area. But
it's a microcosm.
Yeah.
A lot of just very disparate communities that have come to our state, and it's like I really fell in love with this place that, of course, you're probably plenty familiar with, like the Midtown Market on Lake Street. Yeah, I visited that with a youth. Sort of in high school, like my youth group took a trip
that's
down
great.
there, and we stopped, and it was like, oh, this is the coolest thing, all these different, and of course the food,
the food's great. From so many different cultural diasporas, like it's awesome.
But even like some of the clothes and like or just different various trinkets, so cool to have all these places brought to us right up here where we're at. And I mean, even where I live now, it's so different, where like there's a sushi joint just 2 doors down from where I'm sitting, and we never used to have anything close to that, a decade plus ago, so I mean, we got a pho spot now that just opened up.
Yum. That sounds good.
So the thing we're lacking is Korean. And
you got to get some kimbap.
I think that's got to be inevitable at some point.
Yeah.
There's
one of these days
a Korean spot in downtown, or I think it's in the what do they call Uptown Minneapolis?
Yes.
Did you hang out there much in Uptown?
Yeah. I mean, not a ton, but like I've been quite a I never lived there, so but yeah.
There's some cool spots. There's a Korean spot that has the grilling on the table in front
Korean
of you.
barbecue. Yeah, I love those. Those are great.
Yeah, so I'm hoping stuff like that isn't threatened by
expand the melting pot. Yeah.
Well, cool. Thanks, Lara. It was great to check in with you.
Today, happy to be here.
I mean, we'll hopefully reconvene at some point. I don't want to take too much of your time, but this was really fun just to cover a lot of different topics. And there's a lot of heavy stuff, and these kinds of subjects can generate a lot of heated conversations. That was absolutely nothing like I was setting out to do with this sort of adventure.
I mean, it's Animal Farm. It's going to come up at some point, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, and no matter how aligned or disaligned two people are, you can come up with a reason to fight about politics. So it's like, it doesn't even matter. It's just, it depends on how level kind of you want to keep things for the format. And like, I'm sure Laura and I, we agree on, pretty much a lot of things, when it comes to, how society ought to be run. But, that wasn't, we weren't wanting to start a debate either amongst the pod or with
get the boxing gloves out. Let's go. JK.
Yeah. Poking jabs at, people on the outside as well. It's just like, there's so much going on. I just, with this stuff, like to keep it civil and talk about the art of it.
Yeah, that's what it all comes down to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you're disappointed that this wasn't like a knockdown, drag out kind of situation, because I wouldn't last probably 2 seconds against you, Lars.
No.
All right. Well, thanks anyone,
whoever listened, we appreciate you.
That's fine.
Yes.
This was just a fun chat, Laura. I need the human interaction, frankly, and like
that is fair. I feel that. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully Jody can hop on.
Yeah, we got to get more of our Thoughtcast crew on. At some point, we will all reconvene together. I feel it's going to happen. It's just schedules are tricky. Life is tricky, but yeah.
For sure. Well, and thank you so much, Laura. Again, I'll be hopefully hearing from you soon. We'll keep in touch on the chat, but for in the meantime, enjoy your summer.
Ooh, we made it.
it.
I won't be a puddle. I am sweating like a puddle, though. It is so warm today. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, for you, Laura, and the Thoughtcast listeners, may you have a magical day. Have a wonderful week. And, of course, warm hugs. All right. I think, I'm pretty satisfied. I mean, there's a lot to cover. And I just, that was so bad. The new,
Oh no. I need to check it out. Now that I've heard about it, I'm like, just, is it going to be like a so bad it's good kind of a thing, or like is there any redeeming factors to it?
I dozed off. It's just like, it's trying to be like the hip, like The Bad Guys. It's, a heist movie, and there's parts of that. It's like, characters sneaking around, spy, movie music playing. And
right.
It's like the characters, they'll put on sunglasses and do the whole Miami Vice thing. Or,
the references and everything.
Everything's a reference. Everything's a fart joke.
Shut up!